So thank you very much, everyone, for today's session. We are very fortunate today to have with us Encik Muhammad Kamal Abdul Karim with us today. He is a business head of Global Treasury Islamic OCBC Al Amin, and also a chartered banker from Chartered Banker Asian Institute of Chartered Bankers. So for today's session, we are going to do derivative markets, right? So we have, so for your information, Cik Kamal, we have three groups actually today. My group is Group A and Group B, and we also have Dr. Faizal's group today to join us. So these are actually the students who are taking banking and financial institution subject for this semester. So they are in the second year. You are in semester 5 semua kan? Betul kan? Salah lah. Right, and second year they are doing Bachelor of Business Administration Financial Services course, and this is actually our fifth topic for the semester. Alright, so for the rest of the lecture, I will hand over to Encik Kamal, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask our expert here with 30 years experience. So I cannot beat that. Dr. Faizal cannot beat that. So that's why we are very fortunate today to have Encik Kamal with us today. So off to you, Encik Kamal.
All right. Before that, let me try to share the screen. The slide that was prepared by the faculty. Just a moment, yeah. Okay, do you guys see it?
Can.
Okay,
Yes.
all right. Okay. Okay, first of all, thank you very much for having me. Just a little bit of background that I'm been a banker for over almost 25 years, and most of the time I was always been with the Treasury Department. So along the way, if you have any questions regarding Treasury, I'm glad to answer. And I was invited today to kind of I wouldn't say lecture, that is your lecturer's job, but try to talk about derivative market. So I will talk based on what the deck that was prepared, but I may kind of jump here and there and maybe out of scope a little bit. So just bear in mind. But for the exam purposes, I guess you just need to read the deck. And so let me start with, can anyone tell me that what have you learned in the first 4 subjects? 4 topics, because this is the 5th topics, but the last 4 topics, what were there?
Foreign exchange market.
All right.
Capital market.
What else?
Capital market, money market,
Equity, bond.
bond market.
Okay, so capital market, like equity bond, and we have foreign exchange. Then you have money market.
Interest rate.
Okay, interest rate. All right. So this is your 5th topic on the derivative market. All right. Okay. Let me just start a little bit of. Sometimes we say derivative. It's a bit confusing, because what is derivative? Because I think along the way you probably attended before, or you will attend a class on mathematics. You also see derivative inside there. And also you look at the dictionary. The dictionary is if I tried to Google yesterday, it says that something which is based on another source. So how does this derivative word in the dictionary is a noun actually, and in mathematics, and how does it relate to financial market? So this is where that I can say that even most banker also not really familiar with derivative, because it's kind of a unique and a bit technical sometimes. So, but derivative, if you can see something that something of an item, but the value of the item is derived from something else. So just imagine that if you ask yourself, what is your value on your individual basis? How can you put a value to yourself? If you put, okay, let's say this is my iPhone. Maybe, if you buy the new iPhone 12 is around 4,000, 5,000 ringgit. So there is a value to it. But now, after, let's say I've been using it for 2 years, what is the value of my iPhone? So this is where I can say that, okay, this value of the iPhone, I can put maybe 1,005 ringgit because it's derived from something else that I probably see. I probably see in the eBay, something in the Facebook, people are selling 2 years iPhone at 1,005. So now I put a value to my iPhone now is 1,005 because I derived the value from something else. But if you, in the past topics that you mentioned, you learn FX, you learn money market, you see that those products, those instruments have its own value. FX, foreign exchange, dollar ringgit. So dollar ringgit now should be 4.12. So there is a value to the currency. But for derivative, it doesn't have its own value. It's coming from another source, which is also can be the FX. Derivative, foreign exchange derivative. So this is what makes sometimes derivative, not many people are able to understand it. And in the Treasury Department, not many Treasury dealers also are trading derivative because it's kind of unique. So just to, so for you guys to at least try to get this concept where derivative is instruments where the value derived from something else. It itself as an instrument do not have any value, but it must come from something else. So in this case, along the way, you probably see equity derivative, bond derivative, commodity derivative. So derivative, but the value coming from a commodity market. So that's why we say derivative product, the value derived from something else. So that's the gist of the concept of derivative. So I mean, you don't need to think hard about it. Just think about something that you have X. What is the value at X, or coming from something else? So that is derivative by concept. So let's go to the the chapter outlines. When I look at chapter outline, and quickly look at the contents. Okay, what the derivative market is actually huge. So, and also but confined into two types of these are over the counter dengan exchange traded. So the deck yang we have today is based on actually based on the exchange traded, the one that is traded in exchange market like Bursa Malaysia lah. On the over the counter is something else. This over the counter, you actually personally probably have been there before. You go to the bank, you go to the counter and you open an account. That is over the counter. So yang exchange traded ni is something that you go to the bank, you want to, let's say you want to buat FD lah, fixed deposit dekat bank. Okay, you go to the counter, I want to do a fixed deposit, but the bank have published certain rates, 1 month rate, 2 months rate, 3 months rate in the dekat bank branch lah. That is kind of an exchange traded. You cannot negotiate. If you want to do FD, that is the rate bank gonna quote. But if you go to the bank and you open an account, you talk to the teller, I want to open an account, and the teller gives you this form, that form, and how much ringgit you need, what's the minimum amount you need to open an account. That is the concept of over the counter. Okay, in this concept of derivative, I coming from a treasury where we are dealing in over the counter derivatives. So over the counter where customer call, hey, I want to do this derivative product. Then we start talking. How much you amount? Berapa lama you want to do? What is your exposure you want to hedge? What is the purpose? So we talk. Exchange trader, you cannot have this conversation. You go to Bursa, I nak beli stock, tu dekat counter itu price dia. You tak boleh cakap, I nak, nak lower sikit, I want to buy amount sikit-sikit, boleh tak RM1, RM2. Exchange trader, you cannot have that conversation. So that's why the word over the counter and exchange traded, it is always come in hand, but it is two distinct features when you do the derivative. So, okay, let's say look at the slide 3, concept of derivative market. Here it says that derivative market is a facilitate trading of the financial derivative. Yes, but I just want to put a color to it, is that it is a market that beyond just trading. Because in the deck also we talk about hedging. We talk about, of course, trading, particularly these two. People come to the derivative market to also hedge. And there are people want to trade. Okay, this is where trading and derivative come into the limelight during the subprime, 2008, 2009. So most of you probably already still is a primary or secondary school. But if anyone know Baron Buffet did say that the cause of subprime crisis is due to the credit default swap. Okay, credit default swap is a derivative instrument which is not covered here because it kind of a advanced level, but it says that these guys say that the credit default swap is a weapon of mass destruction. Because people trade credit default swap until it makes market collapse and economy collapse. So most of us out of job, so economy collapse. So that's where that's a trader. So I mean, there are people a bit even in Islamic banking space pun, when it comes to derivative, it's a bit sensitive because people use it to trade until market pun collapse. So then, so this is a derivative. Yeah, in the deck also it says that the financial contract where values depend on the value of other basic underlying assets. So this is what I mentioned earlier. You have one. Okay, let's say this is my iPhone. Okay, let's say we create this. I say this is derivative instrument. Okay, what is the value? Okay, this value of this iPhone linked to the underlying assets, which is probably a commodity. So just imagine the value iPhone is linked to a commodity. Commodity price is 1,005 and this is my iPhone is 1,005. I also can link this to equity. Whatever equity in the market, this derivative instruments, the value comes from the equity market. And we have a bond market, we have a foreign exchange market, and in fact, in US, it's so advanced, they have a derivative product based on weather, cuaca. The value of the derivative instrument created in the Chicago Board of Trade, this one product is a weather derivative. Can you imagine that in the derivative, in the weather also people can trade? Because the deck say it facilitate the trading of financial derivative. So in US, people do trade on weather. Petang ni hujan ke panas? Lebat ke tak lebat? Ataupun is gonna cause banjir or tak ada. Can you imagine that derivative instrument coming those elements tau? So that's where derivative product ni is a bit complex to normal people and for most bankers, because it is complex and until most people tak faham until financial crisis can happen. So that is a little bit of concept of what is a derivative instrument, and derivative market is big, but just think about that we can do derivative instrument through two main method. One is exchange traded and one is the over the counter. And over the counter, remember, is kind of you face to face, you can talk to people. And exchange where you don't have choice, whatever you want to buy, that is a price stated in the branch or in the exchange. So the fourth slides, let's say is most traded derivative product. Of course, it says futures and option. Okay. Let's say look at the concept of futures and options instrument. Futures, of course, the word itself already explanatory, is something in the future. So something like you and me, let's say we meet and say that, hey, I nak jual my iPhone ni in 1 month time. And this is the price if you want to buy in 1 month time. So we can agree to do the transaction now, and it get delivered in the future. So, for example, let's look at the definition put in the slide. A contract agreement between two parties to buy or sell underlying instruments at a specific time in the future at a specific price determined today. So we determine today what is the price, what is the item to be futures instruments we want to do, and this to be delivered in the future. So that's why I say futures. Options, okay, let's say we try to get this concept of futures. You and me agree to buy this iPhone with this price and gets delivered in the future. Okay, but the option is something else. Option also, okay, this is actually quite self-explanatory. Look at the layman perspective. Option is like pilihan though. So okay, of course option is pilihan lah. So it says that macam ni, one party have the right but not the obligation to buy or sell the derivative instrument in the future. So this is something like if you meet a friend and your friend say that hey, I want to sell my iPhone, but I give you a right. You boleh beli or you nak beli or you tak nak beli, you can in 1 month time. So in 1 month time nanti kalau you tak nak beli okay, but you nak beli pun okay. So I'm giving you the option. So that is an option product. So bila contohnya macam equity options lah, equity stock market. So the seller is giving the rights to the buyer to buy this equity, let's say Petronas stock lah. Petronas stock in 1 month time. The option tau. So that means in 1 month time, you can come to me if you want to buy. But if you don't want to buy, it's okay. You don't need to come to me. So that is an option that I give to the buyer. So, but this option, okay, ada juga price dia because when dalam in our day to day pun, kalau you try to observe lah in your life, option is something that is actually quite powerful tau. Whoever yang receive the option tu, pilihan is always have a advantage to the party that actually give you the option. So maksudnya kalau I nak jual I punya phone, I give you the option to beli or tak nak beli in 1 month time. Okay, assuming that I need the money, 1,005 ringgit. So I tell to you, okay, in 1 month time, you can come to me to buy, or you tak nak beli pun tak apa. Okay, that's you tau. You dah okay. You feel you feel comfort with that. But I as a seller, I need the money. What if that you tak nak beli? I cannot come and say force you tau. Sebab I dah bagi pilihan. So takkan I nak force to hey, 1 month ago you say you want to buy my iPhone. But now I forcing you to buy. Under option, you tak boleh. Legally pun tak boleh force orang tu. So that means I'm a seller, I need the 1,005. But kalau you tak beli dah, I ada problem. I need to find a different buyer. So usually option tu ada involve premium. I think that in the debt pun ada mention about specific time period by paying a premium. So I'm as a seller of this iPhone, I am taking risk kalau you tak beli my phone. Sebab I need the 1,005. So but I'm taking risk that kalau you tak beli my iPhone one month later, then macam mana pula I nak cari 1,005? I dah kena scramble cari anyone. I mungkin terpaksa jual 1,000 nanti. Sebab ada someone yang I bagi pilihan tak jadi beli. So bila I bagi pilihan to you, I taking the risk that you may not buy my iPhone. So by taking the risk, I need you to pay a little bit of premium lah. Okay, that is a cost of option. So you pay me RM50 lah RM50 for me to give you the option. Nak beli ke tak nak beli my iPhone 1 month time. So this premium, kalau you tak beli, I simpan lah. So itu option product. So kalau in the from a layman ni pergi dekat more technical in the option option market, that's how actually dia punya methodology. Let's move on. Okay. So from this concept, from layman, you and me, just then you bring this to the in the equity market, to foreign exchange market, bond market. You just imagine you learn about bonds, capital market. Just imagine bond options. So the seller of the bond give option pilihan to the to the buyer to not to buy or buy in the future date. So that means that is bond. I can have iPhone, I can have bond, I can have equity, I can have foreign exchange. So more advanced country, then you have option on weather. So just imagine tengok how this concept, then the underlying instrument dia, underlying assets tu can be macam-macam. You can do option in all these things. So that is option product. So then they have a two type of derivative. Okay, this is what I explained earlier, the exchange traded. So the exchange traded ni memang dekat exchange sahajalah. You won't see dekat any other place. You actually informally they probably have lah the underground new option. But the exchange traded while it is what I would say an approved market for you to trade or to deal in derivative, because exchange ni ada regulation. Because you buy and selling ni, you nak tengok who actually involved in the party ni. I cannot have Along tiba-tiba pula dalam nak buat option with me. Macam, can I trust this Along? Can I trust even Dr. Azanti become a participant? Because I can you and I can trade, but lepas tu tak bayar. Oh, I nak beli, dah beli tak bayar. So exchange traded ni very important because it's governance. It is involve trust, it's involve reputation. Kalau just imagine lah exchange ni dekat some remote African country, Togo lah. Tengok dia punya confidence of people. Let's trade equity or let's do option, let's do derivative, etc. But dekat Togo punya exchange. Just imagine, even Togo is a country, but it is small country in Africa. You put Togo, you put Malaysia, Bursa Malaysia, and you put London Metal Exchange, that is London. You tengok the level of people confidence. Alamak, Togo memanglah country, but macam mana governance dia? Is this country ni ada law ke? Then pergi dekat Malaysia, of course lah established, but if you go to London lagi lah, then it is financial center. So that's why exchange traded ni derivative transaction ni kita trade dekat exchange traded ni sebab is more governance, because they have rules, they create confidence. When people buy, definitely dia akan when people sell, the seller definitely akan get the money. So just imagine you sell, dia tak dapat duit. Itu kan masalah. So yang over the counter, over the counter ni memang I in the treasury, I have corporate clients call on the phone. Kamal, today I have let's say dia ada bonds lah. Dia ada bonds, I nak hedge I punya bonds ni. Kalau you remember lah, you last topics on capital market, I'm not sure whether it touch on this aspect. Bond price dengan interest rate move in negative relationship. If interest rate goes up, your punya bond price go down. So by right, this should be the exam question lah. It's a very fundamental negative relationship. So let's say you dah pegang bond ni, and you tahu kalau interest rate goes up, the value of your bond turun. Banyaklah you beli elah you beli iPhone, definitely iPhone turun lah, tapi you tak nak dia turun jauh sangat sebab nanti you nak jual dia harga RM1. Beli RM5,000, takkan nak jual RM1. Sama juga you beli bonds, equity juga, you beli equity, let's say lah harga dia RM90. Then then kalau interest rate goes up, this bond value dia mungkin RM50. And that time masa dah RM50 tu you need money. You need to buy a new iPhone or something else. So you need to sell your bond to buy a new iPhone. But you beli dekat 90. But alamak, sekarang ni you jual dah harga 50, dah you rugi 40. And so happen pula harga iPhone tu RM70. Dah kena top up pula lagi. So in your mind is that, macam mana ni, macam mana I nak protect I punya value of my bond ni, or value of my iPhone, value of my house. So the concept tu apply kat semua benda. Everyone nak protect kita punya own value. Even personal pun lah. You always nak protect you punya value. So macam mana you nak protect tu? So bila nak protect, kalau financial market ni ada produk dia derivatif lah. So you call dia, customer call, Kamal, I ada bond ni, risau, price dia jatuh, macam mana nak buat? Macam ni lah, kita ada derivative instrument ni, you buy instrument ni, so nanti kalau lah dia akan work offset dengan impact of your bond ni. Bond you jatuh RM20, derivative instrument ni akan give you value of RM20. So that means kalau dia jatuh RM50, derivative instrument ni akan bagi you value RM50. So you nampak di sini, kalau I jual my bonds ni RM50, I rugi RM40. Tak apa, sebab derivative produk tu akan bagi you RM40. So that means you dah protect tau, you dah, in other words, you call your hedging your risk. So sekarang ni you ada RM90 punya bond yang you beli, you jual dekat market RM50, so you dah rugi RM40, tapi hedging instrument ni akan bagi you RM40. So end up you sama juga RM90. Itu that's what client always call lah. Dia nak protect ni. I ada foreign exchange pun, I takut dolar ringgit ni depreciate, tak tahulah government bertukar lagi kan, takut ringgit depreciate teruk, habis I macam mana pula ni? Dia masuk, gila call treasury nak minta, boleh tak, I ada masalah ni. Ini elemental lah, because klien tak cakap macam ni lah kan. Dia ada masalah. Kalau ringgit tiba sekarang ni 4.12. Kalau ringgit ni 4.2, habis lah. Cost I tengah import barang ni. Nanti cost melambat-lambat, kena tutup kedai. So boleh dia pergi, ini masalah. So the only way to solve masalah ni dalam konteks of financial market, derivative instrument lah. So derivative instrument ni sebenarnya kalau it start from the beginning, I think it started early 80s, niat dia murni. Dia nak tolong orang. Tapi tahulah kan, banyak orang cerdik pandai ni, dia dah buat derivative produk macam-macam, lepas tu buat trading pula tu. Daripada dulu nak tolong orang, lepas tu kita fikir, kita boleh trade ni. Trade derivative, tak ada sebab nak tolong orang pun. So itu jadi ada boleh trading, boleh hedging. So that's what derivative lah. Lepas tu kenapa dia boleh buat macam-macam, sebab yang dia tak ada dia punya own value, yang macam I cakap earlier tu. Bonds ada harga dia, rumah kita pun ada harga, money market ada harga, you punya rate tu. Tapi derivatif ni tak ada harga, dia tak wujud, dia suruh coming something else. Kat situ yang boleh buat pelik-pelik. Dia can change derivative, whether derivative apa benda. I can tell you in the future, they probably people create a product whether how many meteorite gonna pass the earth. Just imagine, because anything, because dia tak ada own value, instrument that is have no value. You can tell me, kita buatlah value dia based on how many rocket akan launch for this year. Just imagine that how derivative instrument ni, because a blank piece of paper, you and I can create macam-macam if yang kita boleh buat. Itu nak buat kompleks tu, because you letaklah mathematical formula yang pelik-pelik, so then it become derivative. Lepas tu trading, lepas tu people start, oh dia boleh buat duit ni, aku beli murah jual tinggi, buy low sell high punya ni, semua orang masuk. Lepas tu itu yang buat uncontrollable, jadilah subprime dulu, 2008 dulu. So that's why derivative ni macam ni, dia tak ada value, lepas tu create value dia coming from something else. So in the future there can be a lot more. But what in your textbook, I think for exam purposes, kat sini I think dia just touch on macam CPO, macam gold. Nanti macam gold for example, macam tadilah you tukang gali gold digger. You jumpa gold banyak. So then harga gold sekarang ni RM100 per whatever, let's say 1 kilogram RM100. Your cost is RM90. You beli cangkul those sort of things. You hire your family members, you hire your friend tak tolong dig the gold. Your cost is RM90, but the market price is RM100. So I can make RM10. All in semua ni tolak minus my cost, but I still can make RM10. But what if the gold price jatuh 50? So that's why you need to thinking juga, alamak my cost is 90. But kalau nak jatuh 50, then I got a problem. So this is where the derivative market provide the solution. So let's go to just a moment, yeah. I cannot move my screen. Okay, Naima, can you go to the slide? The next slide will be slide 4. So slide 4.
Share the screen. I have the slide with me. Kalau nak.
No, because I actually still sharing. It's just that I cannot move to the next slide. Let me just stop sharing.
Sharing.
Let me try share again. Oh, I cannot get to the. Oh, maybe Doctor, you just share your screen and I just off mine.
Okay, all right.
Okay, on the next slide, slide 5, development of derivative market. Okay, this is something that you guys can read. So I think something that I'm not going to touch lah, but it is focusing on Bursa Malaysia derivative market. Because the whole wide world ni, every country have its own exchange, Bursa Malaysia or London, New York Exchange. So derivative is one of their products, including Malaysia. But of course Malaysia punya market ni tak adalah besar macam financial market kat Singapore, Hong Kong, London dan New York. So dekat sini dia adalah mention about how Bursa Malaysia derivative market come about. So I think you guys can read that. And the next slide of structure of this is slide 6. Okay. This is also something that
they all can read code. Maybe you can focus on 4 and 5 the participant. So this one I think
yes. So that's something okay. And Bursa Malaysia also you can read.
This one.
Okay, let's look at the slide 10, the participants of derivative market. So who are the participants? So this is where for derivative market, unlike equity market lah, you and I as individual cannot be the participant. So the participants, I think the slide number 11, okay, did mention about, okay, maybe I can elaborate a little bit of the participants. So the commercial bank, fund manager, securities firm, pension fund, insurance company. Okay, the list may not be as conclusive, but usually commercial bank, okay, that's where I am now lah. I work in the commercial bank. We never actually involved in the derivative market in the Bursa Malaysia, because commercial banks is more on the over the counter, as I mentioned lah. So you pergi to branch counter, you call me. That's where commercial bank, because it is a product of one of the product of commercial bank to offer hedging solutions to our corporate clients. Okay, but for the routine market under Bursa, okay, they have a lot more players lah. They have fund manager. Fund manager ni kalau pernah dengar public mutual, apa lagi, CIMB principal. This is fund manager tau. You letak duit. Okay, you can buy stock market, but let's say lah you and I tak ada masa, or mungkin tak terror lah nak trade stock market. You can buy unit trust. Okay, this unit trust is managed by the fund manager. So that's why the fund managers is also participants. But in my experience, from a derivative market within the context of Bursa Malaysia, fund manager pun tak berapa aktif. Maybe yes under equity, but not other instruments. Because they fund manager also buy equity, so they also have exposure. What if the stock that they buy for you price jatuh? So that's where they also can do equity options lah. So then we have a securities firm to hedge. Okay, securities firm here to hedge own portfolio against stock market. So securities firm I think also related to fund manager. So these two participants have their own portfolio for many reasons. One manage for you, and sometimes they manage for institutional client like EPF. EPF pun beli through a fund manager. So dan duit EPF yang kita carum ni, nanti you all dah kerja nanti you tahulah. Carum pergi EPF. So every year you dapat dividen. So EPF akan bagi majority of our caruman ni, our saving to the fund manager to manage. So EPF so juga beli juga property kat London, kat itu part of investment portfolio lah. So they probably pergi dekat London, pergi kat stock exchange kat London to hedge dia punya exposure. So pension fund, okay, pension fund ni apa, kalau kat Malaysia KUAP, kalau pernah dengar lah kumpulan wang amanah persaraan. So that's KUAP lah. Dekat Malaysia satu je. Dekat I think other countries tu banyak, a few lah. I mean for example like US, since they are huge, they have California punya pension fund, they probably have dekat East Coast, kat Malaysia satu je lah KUAP. So KUAP ni pun sama, same function as EPF. So every year government allocate certain amount for KUAP to manage, because inilah nanti untuk orang mak opak kita dapat duit pension lah. Duit pension dia datang pada KUAP, and government bagi KUAP pergi manage duit ni, kau invest lah dekat EPF, dekat equity ke, beli kat bonds ke, beli property ke, dalam Malaysia, luar Malaysia, buat lah. So every year bagi je lah dividen. Itu pension fund. Insurance company ni, okay, ni biasalah, insurance dan takaful company. Dia pun sama. Kalau you tengok from the use of on the right side of the table tu, dia punya purpose, all talking about equity and interest rate. So interest rate tu sebenarnya banyak pada bonds lah, bukan kat money market dia punya yang you last class lah. Because money market you tak is a short term instruments and people don't hedge. But bonds, because dia punya dia long term. Bonds ni kadang more than a year. Lepas tu value dia pun bergantung pada interest rate. So interest rate up, down, dia punya value up. Then kalau interest rate goes up, value bond dia jatuh. But when I say interest rate goes up, go down ni, I hope in your last class pun mention pasal monetary policy bank negara ni. Kalau bank negara dia I think a year ada about 10 or 11 meetings, dia akan decide what is the overnight policy rate. So overnight policy rate ni actually nampak simple je lah. Overnight tu rate interest rate for 1 day tau. Itu pun cakap kenapa 1 day? Kenapa tak 5 days, 7 days? Okay, 1 day ni dia macam pendulum tau. Dia affect other products. So you change yang 1 day ni, the rest akan change. Contohnya kalau 1 day nanti you dah kerja, you probably nak ambil hire purchase for car loan. You ambil car loan, then you gonna get charged of a rate. That rate is usually HP hire purchase is a fixed rate. Kalau you beli rumah, the tendency now, rumah is a floating rate. So you have you buy a car for 5 years, your rate is fixed, 5 years, and you buy a house where the rate is fluctuate based on the OPR. So kalau OPR naik, then you start lah, tengok your monthly payment naik. So okay, that is floating rate you nampak, but this OPR rate affect all rate including HP. So dalam rate and fixed rate tu, that mechanism will calculate coming from this overnight rate. So if this move, the whole thing move. So bila bank negara decide, okay, they had meeting early November, they decide to maintain OPR at 1.75%. So okay, that means bonds market punya price should stable. Tapi sebelum tu in the bond market, people are selling buying bond sebab everyone of us, including me lah, thought that bank negara should cut interest rate dengan COVID-19-nya, dengan ekonomi this COVID-19 will gonna affect our economy. So we expect kalau ekonomi teruk, bank negara should lower interest rate. So bila lower interest rate, your housing payment, monthly payment, your parent yang bayar rumah akan bayar kurang. So bayar kurang. Let's say lah you bayar rumah you 1,500. So because of OPR turun, you mungkin bayar 1,000. So you got 500 ringgit extra. Bila 500 ringgit extra, of course lah ada extra, you probably gonna spend more lah agaknya. Mungkin you start beli, kalau jenis yang beli 1 kampit beras, mungkin dah start beli 2 kampit beras. So bila all these things is good for the economy because it's just imagine all this just OPR change je. OPR change, they affect the whole economy. Then kalau bond pun, kalau OPR jatuh, bond price akan naik. So kalau you tahu something yang akan naik in the future, what will you do now? Should you tak buat apa-apa atau you should buy something? Buy bond.
Buy now.
Kalau you beli now, bank negara cut interest rate, so bond yang you beli semalam ni, hari ni akan naik harga tau. Naik harga, you terus jual lah. Dah untung. That's what before OPR meeting tu, half of the market including me, I thought that bank negara should cut lah. Tapi apparently dia tak cut. So things I buy sekarang ni tak naik lah. Kena simpan lah bond yang beli ni. So sekarang ni bila I dah beli bond, alamak, kalau lepas ni bank negara cakap okay kita akan naikkan OPR. Bila naik OPR dah masalah. So I fikir macam mana I nak hedge ni. Kalau I naikkan OPR naik, my value of my bond dah negatif. So price dah jatuh. So I go to the then I'm thinking macam mana nak hedge my bond portfolio. So this mindset ada kat semua these participant. Pension fund ke, insurance company ke, securities ke. Once you buy asset macam equity dengan bond ni, so you always fikir what if your price of your portfolio ni jatuh. Bila jatuh memang you akan rugi. And for this fund manager ni, dia actually entrusted by you and me because they actually using our money to buy all these instrument. So kalau jatuh teruk, then susahlah kita probably bengang lah dengan public mutual. So dia kena manage. So that's why dia a participant in this hedging market. derivative market because all these things, all these people have exposure. So that's why they need to be a participant. Kalau tidak, macam you and I beli rumah, kalau rumah tu tiba-tiba banjir, macam mana you nak buat? Tak ada tempat nak hedge tau. So macam you and me ni macam anggap macam kita tak ada place lah, tak ada market untuk kita jadi participant untuk hedge. But these people, yes, they do. So that's why we call them a participants of a derivative market, and they are approved participant. They can go in and manage exposure. So the next slide ni pun, I think I mentioned a little bit yang slide number 12. It's about hedgers, speculators and arbitragers. So I'm going to go, I think this subsequent slide also talk about it. I'm going to just kind of summarize it. So hedgers ni, okay, like most other participants yang I mentioned in the slide 11 semua tu, we can say most of them are hedgers. They have real concern because they have something they pegang in the portfolio, but they takut, what if the value of the portfolio jatuh? So I need to hedge. So that's why they call it hedgers. So kalau by tengok kalau slide 13 ni, dia cakap to minimize or mitigate risk on exposure to market volatility. Okay, when you buy a stocks or you, okay, let you buy a house, your exposure is that what if your house tiba-tiba tak ada value. Tiba-tiba you actually beli in the banjir, flood prone area. So you have exposure. Itu exposure you as individu. Or you buy a house where is a crime prone area. So many crime happen in the area. So that's your exposure. So all these participants tadi tu, they buy financial instruments, they buy equity, they buy bonds, they buy CPO, they buy gold. Their exposure is that what is something happen in the world, in the financial market, that makes the value of the asset, value of the gold or bonds ni tiba-tiba jadi zero lah, turun. Ataupun turun, but to the extent zero, tak ada value. So that is the risk. Dah tahu ada risk, like you and me, dah tahu ada risk, what can we do about it? So then that's why we go to the market. These people go to the derivative market, tell these people in the market, I have this problem, and these people like me are gonna tell, okay, for your problem, let's do this product A, let's do futures, or let's do options, something like that's how we you have a start from a portfolio, you have risk that you want to hedge it, and you talk to me or you go to the exchange and find the right derivative instruments to manage your exposure. So okay, and then the next slide is talking about how to hedge. Okay, this is where tadi itulah I cakap falling share value, because this is the word from the deck is talking about falling share value, but conceptually you just think about something that you have, that value dia jatuh. That's what everyone have an issue. So it's not something about just falling share value, but something that you have in your possession, the value akan jatuh. That's what you punya main concern. And I can tell you that kalau some big banks like Lehman Brothers, along the way maybe some people or some text you talk about banks like Lehman Brothers, Boston dekat US. Lehman Brothers is a 150 years old bank tau. Just imagine 150 years old bank. Collapse. Sekarang ni tak exist lah. In 2008. Because they have a lot of exposure in the derivative market where the value, bukanlah the value, dah tak ada value dah. Maksudnya value zero. Because dia dia unable to hedge, ataupun, okay, another part nanti akan we touch base, dia ni speculators. So bila dia speculate ni macam gamble lah. Bila gamble, you kind of 50-50 kan. You may fail, you may gain. Kalau you gain, you probably gain a lot. But if you lose, just imagine 150 years bank dah tak ada dalam this world. Just imagine Maybank, tiba-tiba Maybank dah tak wujud dah because of the failure of rugi dalam derivative market. So that's the importance of hedging. But bila you hedge, there's something that you need. For example, tadi earlier I mentioned about options. You kena bayar premium kan. You nak ada options. I nak ada option nak beli atau tak nak beli. So sedap lah kat rumah. Yang menjual option tu yang alamak nak orang ni akan beli ke tak nak beli. Dia dah risau. So kerisauan you pay me premium. So that's why kalau H ni orang cakap you cannot win tau. You cannot win dalam all the time where you beli something, you want to gain from something, tapi you tak nak rugi. I mean susah lah juga nak fikir, nak menang je, nak untung je kan. Okay, you tak nak rugi, you buat hedging. So just imagine bila you buat hedging tu, maksudnya you dah protect. Bila protect tu, maksudnya ada cost juga. So bila dalam you buat hedging ni, each derivative instrument ada dia punya own cost. Yang I mentioned earlier tu option ada premium, tu direct. Tapi kalau you buat ada futures lain pula. You beli futures untuk hedging your exposure, futures tu ada price, you kena beli juga. So kalaulah you betul lah you rasa you beli you beli something, lepas tu risau price jatuh, you beli futures, you kena bayar something. So kalau you are right, then you tak rugi. Tapi kalau you are wrong, maksudnya you sebenarnya tak perlu hedge lah. Let's say interest rate you takut interest rate go up. Tapi sebenarnya akan go down forever. So lepas tu bisa alamak tak patut hedge lah. I should be making a lot from my bonds. Tapi pasal you dah hedge, you kena bayar dekat hedging tu tau. So you punya ada cost kat situ. So you cannot, maksudnya you nak untung je. Bila nak untung je, you kena ambil risk. You nak untung banyak, tak payah hedge lah. Kalau you beli bonds, you ingat price dia akan naik infinity, then okay lah, fine. Tapi balik rumah you dah tak boleh tidur. Alamak, macam mana pula kalau bond ni harga jatuh? Dia tak boleh tidur, dia nak makan Panadol. Panadol pun ada cost juga. Lama-lama nanti you sakit. Asyik makan pil kan. Macam tu juga bila you hedge something, memang akan ada cost. Tapi you tak boleh cakap alamak nak untung infinity kan. Tapi balik rumah tak boleh tidur, makan pil. Dia anggap macam ni, kalau you nak untung besar, tak payah makan pil. Tak payah hedge. Tapi make sure you boleh tidur lah, knowing tomorrow you might lose the whole thing. You might lose your bond, you might lose your house. Kalau boleh tidur, itu orang panggil gambler. Speculator ni banyak gambler. So beli something, gamble. Lepas tu bila bad things happen, habis semua. Rumah tergadai, apa semua tergadai. Beli rumah, yang kalau long time ago, maybe your parent would know lah, I can see, I can give example macam masa KLIA was 1998, KLIA was to develop. Masa tu people were talking about dekat Bukit Beruntung tu. Bukit Beruntung dekat lepas Nawang kan. So people are actually buying property kat situ. Itu you and me lah. You buy something house dekat Bukit Beruntung, hoping that area gonna develop because of KLIA. So that's you and me in the individual level. Just imagine all these participants yang gambler besar-besar ni, just Soros lah apa lagi besar. So you beli, then suddenly what happened? Tak jadi KLIA kat sana, buka kat Sepang. What happened to your house dekat Bukit Beruntung? Dah jadi hantu duduk. Okay, that's where kalau you beli rumah kat Bukit Beruntung, tapi you balik rumah, masa lepas beli, you terfikir, apa jadi kalau tak jadi buat dekat Bukit Beruntung? Dan mungkin you fikir, alamak, boleh je kalau tak jadi mampus lah, habis duit. So you mungkin nak thinking, macam mana aku nak hedge? Okay, macam kita ni problem lah, tak ada hedging instrument. Tapi kalau big financial market ni, dia boleh pergi hedging instrument tu. Kata tengok, kalau you fikir kat rumah tu, you boleh fikir tak apalah, I beli another rumah dekat Sepang lah. I dengar kat Sepang pun mungkin ada rumah-rumah. Rumah nak buat KLIA kat Sepang, rumah nak buat dekat Bukit Beruntung. So you beli 2 rumah. So kalau you right one of them, you untung besar. Tapi dalam this case, you tengok, you ada 2 rumah, satu untung besar, satu rugi tau. So you tengok, untung ni minus rugi ni, you untung sini je. just imagine that kalau you gamble big time, you beli dekat Bukit Beruntung saja, you gamble, kalau jadi this is what you make tau. So kalau dia tak jadi buat Bukit Beruntung, tapi you beli juga dekat Sepang pula jatuh, you rugi dah, negatif. Ini dah cost, you jual at rugi. Tapi you jual dekat Bukit Beruntung, you banyak ni. Saya tengok, ini dengan ini. Kalau you tak hedge and you are right, this is how much you make tau. Kalau you wrong, totally gone, ada muflis. Tapi kalau you hedge, macam ni lah, untung besar ni je. Tapi janganlah mengamuk kan. I mean, alamak, rugi aku, sayang aku hedge. Tapi tidak aku dah untung banyak ni. Macam tu susah lah. Macam ni you nak win all the time kan.
Cik Kamal, we have a question in the chat. If you can see.
Alamak, mana chat dia ni?
I can read for you. Okay, from Darina, does that mean that derivative instruments are not permitted from Islamic perspective because hedging is like gambling?
Okay, ini ada agak lah ni. Sebab you ada kelas you ada Islamic banking. Luckily I'm from Islamic banking, so I can answer this question. Apa ni? Okay. At first, Islamic derivative memang tak boleh because I explain pasal gamble semua ni kan. However, there are people like you yang ada genuine concern. So you dah boleh, macam mana nak protect? So you pergi jumpa jumpa ulama ke apa kan? Imam ke apa kan, cakap saya ni masalah ni, saya beli ni. So kalau rugi ni, company kena tutup, orang kena buang kerja semua. So that is a real concern. And from syariah perspektif, dia akan tengok macam ni tau. What do we have in Islamic banking, Islamic world? Apa hedging instrument yang kita ada? Apparently, we don't have anything lah. But what we do have is conventional hedging instrument. So macam ni lah. Okay, I tak nak lebih-lebih ceritakan ni. Islamic perspektif ni jadi panjang pula. Sebab dalam derivative, Islamic derivative, only a few conventional instrument je yang boleh kita replicate menjadi syariah compliant. Satu yang dalam my field is an interest rate swap. Yang satu cross currency swap. Actually letu options. 3 ni je lah. Futures tak boleh, haram sekali sekarang ni. Tak ada syariah konsep scholars, syariah scholars yang allow futures. So and lepas tu from that syariah scholars cakap okay boleh kita replicate. Lepas tu replicate kita find syariah konsep. However ada main condition. The derivative instrument under Islamic bank finance must be used for hedging purposes only. So you cannot trade. When I say hedging purposes, meaning that in my context bila I buat derivative dengan counterparty, syariah probably ask, Kamal, kenapa? Why did you do this transaction? Why? Because we have something to hedge. We have a client cakap dia ada masalah. Because dia masalah beli stok, takut stok jatuh. Kalau stok jatuh rugi, company affect, bla bla bla. Okay, because of that kita buat Islamic hedging ni, let's say FX options lah, or equity option kita buat. That's what syariah punya condition. You can only do Islamic derivative for hedging purposes. Unlike conventional world, tak perlu ada hedging ni. You pergi I nak buat derivative. Macam tu je. Lepas tu derivative ni ada value Lepas tu hopefully tomorrow value dia naik. Then I jual my derivative. Itu memang haram lah. From syariah Islamic banking is not allowed. Only for hedging purposes. Itulah jawapan dia. Jawapan pendek lah. Tapi I can lecture about this for half an hour lah for Islamic banking. That may be something in the future.
Maybe next time kita boleh discuss on if we have that.
Okay. Hopefully is answer ni lah. At least you got the idea whoever that asked this question. Because hedge like a gamble. Okay, that's different hedge is not a gamble tau. So whoever asked this question. Hedging ni because you want to protect. Gamble ni, you just tak ada apa-apa pun. I just nak gamble lah. Beli. Tapi it actually walk almost side by side and almost cross. I mean overlapping each other. So that's why and also gamble also ada juga, boleh argue juga, is gamble speculate. That's something else. So that's something we can talk later lah. Hedging, is it equal to gamble and also equal to speculation? So I can tell you this almost sounds similar, but from argument sake, it is not. But it require a bit more discussion lah, because kadang nak bagi faham is a bit difficult. Okay, tak apa. Hopefully I can give you the some gist of Islamic derivative in hedging in Islamic perspective lah. Okay, the next slide is selling. Selling short ni. Okay, you read this for exam purposes, but I just summarize that I mentioned earlier that when you dalam this context you sell options. When you sell option, I sell to you option to buy iPhone. Because you have probably you have some exposure. Whether it's falling price or increasing price, you want to hedge. So from my perspective, I can be selling or buying hedging. So another option, because selling and short ni lebih more appropriate in the futures market. So you short futures market, you long futures market. For example, like kita tengok Malaysia is a palm oil producer. Palm oil, okay. Palm oil, just imagine kalau palm oil the price jatuh, that's gonna be a huge impact to the company yang produce palm oil ni. So dia boleh pergi to futures market. Futures ni ialah macam tadi, I think something that you can sell or buy in the future. So bila CPO ni dah kait from pokok, you nak jual, tapi before you jual, you start tengok proses dia. You kena tanam pokok dia. Bila you kena tanam pokok, bukannya esok dah siap pokok, kadang berbulan-bulan baru lepas tu ada buah. Lepas tu between now dengan buah tu, you sitting dekat rumah, you tengok masa you jadi petani, penanam kelapa sawit, you mesti fikir, boleh buat duit ni dalam CPO market ni. Bila you buat duit, okay lah, I want to be palm oil planter, because you see you can buat duit. In fact, from commodity ni pun, everyone should be thinking we can make money, because our global population pun rising and we have a scarce resources. Makanan pun sampai tak cukup-cukup. So kalau you petani, just imagine lah, one day people makan cili lah untuk hidup. Just imagine that demand for chili akan increase. So you naturally fikir, I don't want to work in a bank, I don't want to work in a corporate world, uncertainty, COVID, but for sure makanan can never be enough to manage population, global population. Sekarang dah more than 7 billion. So what you do, okay lah, I nak jadi petani palm oil. So but bukannya sekejap, so you kena tanam semua tu, but you should be worried. What if kalau by the time you dah siap kait, there's so many people buat palm oil. Bila so many people buat palm oil, alamak, harga pun sudah jatuh lah. Normal lah macam tu. Kalau kalau everyone nak tanam cili, lambat-lambat cili, then of course the price akan jatuh. Then you should be worried. You have spent millions to buat you punya estate, then by the time you nak dapat jual, you dah jatuh. So that's why dalam you can go to futures market today tau. By the time you tanam pokok tu, you go to futures market. I nak sell CPO in the future. I nak, for example, now is December, maybe you cakap you nak jual, you tengok you punya CPO ni ready to be sold in March next year. But you risau the price of CPO jatuh. You go to the future market, go to bursa, you sell your CPO futures at that price. So bila you sell at that price, so bila in March next year, you akan jual CPO you, of course you kena jual dekat physical lah. You jual kat people at the current market price. So current market price jatuh lah contohnya kan, but you boleh you dah ada option contract tau. you dah dah beli kontrak beli option contract to sell, you boleh close your position dekat option contract tu and make money that offset you punya rugi ni. So net you tak rugi tau. But of course tadi I explain you cannot make as much macam you tak hedge lah. Tapi kat sini you still make tapi not as much. But it is okay because you dah worried about price jatuh. So that's why you buy the options. So dekat sini you boleh buat into the option go to bursa, you beli option product. So I want to buy a CPO option for this price. Okay, dah beli. So bila in the future, whatever happen in the future market, dekat whatever happen in the future of that price, you punya CPO price, you tak perlu risau sebab you ada option contract yang boleh offset you punya you punya losses lah. Bukanlah losses, you still make this much. Cuma because CPO price masa March next year jatuh, so that you make this much, you bengang lah. So option akan top up. It means you okay. I mean not so bad tau. So that's where this is how the futures. I think the slide slide yang been posted now, speculative trading. Okay, this is where dekat speculators ni macam tadi itulah cakap siapa question tu, you speculate tau. Speculate ni memang gambler lah. Tapi as I said, gamble and speculate can be almost overlap, but it's not same thing. But you look at speculation ni. You buy a house at a place and you thinking that the house going to be developed macam you beli kat Bukit Beruntung tu. So most people say those are speculators. Okay, speculators because they speculate. Speculate ni, I can't remember what's the English definition for speculate. You speculate something macam take hypothesis lah, that the price of the house in the Bukit Beruntung going to go up. So speculate. So if you're wrong, you rugi lah. So that's why kalau some people associate dengan gamble. Tapi my own opinion lah, I may be wrong, but I feel like gambling ni is more macam tak ada proper strategy thinking thoughts tau. So, contohnya macam you beli rumah because dekat Bukit Beruntung because you put a strategy. You heard about KLIA akan develop dekat Bukit Beruntung. Then you speculate. Okay, sorry. I think this is probably more appropriate where people yang tak ada proper strategy when you decide to buy Bukit Beruntung because you heard that ada heard rumors that KLIA may be built dekat Bukit Beruntung. That sounds like a gamble tau. There's no tak ada verification, tak ada proper analysis. Tapi let's say lah you buat analysis you tengok population dekat Bukit Beruntung ataupun before Bukit Beruntung is growing. You nampak government punya plan, there is a plan to build LRT. So then you put strategy, okay, let's buy a property there because in 10 years time, because population going to grow, because of this strategy, then you can make money. Okay, that sounds a bit better than gamble tau. Gamble kind of macam kasino lah, you baling dadu kan, tak ada proper, just I feel good about it and you make an action. But speculate is probably sound like more strategic thinking where you have a strategy but you still may be wrong because we can do our best but your analysis maybe not good enough lah. So but in speculator I think that's what they do because macam George Soros yang terkenal lah masa 1998. But there are many speculators in the financial market where, based on their analysis, they speculate that CPO going to increase. Okay, in this case, for example, that given a rising population, we speculate that the food will be not enough, and it is good for us to enter into a food market. Okay, but it's still speculation because there's nothing for certain in the future. Then at the end, in the future, you may be wrong because whatever reason, tiba-tiba global population reduce. COVID-19 mungkin reduce global population. During the Spanish flu 1919, berapa juta. Even during World War I, World War II, berpuluh-puluh juta global population wipe out. So tiba-tiba je global population down, but you speculate increase. So those people, there are many speculators lah macam ni. Go into the market, I speculate because of A, B and C. Certain instrument akan go up and certain instrument akan go down. And I put my position accordingly. And still you may be wrong. Okay, so then dalam speculators ni, okay, ada yang day trader. Kalau tak tahu lah, you pernah dengar now, some individual lah, like actually trade FX, foreign exchange. Using certain platform. So that one can be day traders. I in the treasury department, I have two type of people and trade foreign exchange, trade derivative. And they kind of interchange because they sometimes they go in and out. Masuk hari ni, masuk pagi, trade pagi, then they close position petang. Or within a day lah, so that can be a day trader. Within a day you speculate, then you close the position and tengok whether you untung ke tak. So they are also position trader. Position trader ni biasanya macam you probably a position trader kalau you beli rumah lah, yang you speculate akan naik. You buy a house and you thought that within 10 years the house value gonna double because the area going to be developed. So you can be deemed as a position trader. So like people buy bonds, buy equity, they akan beli for next month. For example, like I think next year economy akan recover. COVID akan we found a vaccine for COVID-19. So you probably want to buy certain stocks ataupun certain bonds yang akan increase value. Tapi kalaulah you might want to be careful sekarang ni if you want to buy Glove company punya stock. Macam Top Glove memang happening lah because kita COVID nak pakai glove kan. So of course glove tak cukup, so dia punya stock price tu naik. What if that tomorrow the world announce we have found the real vaccine for COVID-19. Then people thinking, alamak, in the future that means once COVID, the vaccine dah jadi ini, dah more available, we don't need glove. Then jatuhlah price Top Glove punya company because people not buying glove as many as before. So that then you speculate lah. You can speculate this in the futures market. That you speculate Top Glove punya equity akan jatuh. So what will you do? You should be buy selling Top Glove equity, selling futures. You can sell now, sell futures, then you buy Top Glove later at the lower price. So you sell at high in 6 month time. You buy Top Glove punya price futures punya contract at lower price. So that's how people speculate in the futures market. So okay, and this is the deck on number 25. It says that speculative trading where the trader take view. Well, I would say we all take view lah. Cuma that you punya you punya view ni whether based kind of macam more strategic view or just plain view lah. I rasa akan naik, I rasa akan turun. So where the trader take a view, dalam this case, kalau let's say dollar ringgit lah. Dollar ringgit 4.12 now. Let's say lah kita punya cases sekarang ni dah on average 1,000 cases. COVID positive cases a day, about 1,000 a day tau. Let's say lah adalah pula speculator ni, trader believe that, I think if bangun-bangun pagi rasa-rasa macam tak sedap badan je kan, rasa-rasa macam ni, tengok-tengok newspaper, rasa macam COVID ni akan worse lah. Probably case akan jadi 3,000 or probably in fact because of this 4,000 we have to enforce full MCO. Then kalau we have no choice to from dia punya perspektif, we have to government will have to enforce full MCO, then ekonomi akan almost stagnant. Malaysia will teruk, then people akan ekonomi teruk, so ringgit akan lagi teruk. I expect ringgit akan 4.2. Just imagine, dia take a view tau. Dah ada view, I think ringgit in 6 month time akan jadi 4.2 lah. So what will you do now? You boleh masuk speculate dekat hedging semua ni, speculate dekat pergi ke option market ke dekat futures market ke, you take your position kat situ. In 6 month time, if you are right, you make a lot of money. But if you are wrong, okay, in my place kalau you been losing money for 3 years, I think we will ask you to leave lah. So that's why you speculator ni, you can make a lot of money jadi hero, but once you lose money, some people will be out of job lah. That's why nampak speculate ni macam apa that's why syariah tak suka. Islamic banking don't allow speculate lah. Tapi especially dalam derivative, sebab dia tak ada value tu. Kalau but syariah allow you to buy or speculate in FX, foreign exchange, semua equity. Tapi the syariah people never say it's speculation. It's just that it allows you to buy or sell. But whether your intention to speculate tu ni is up to you. Like kita lah, kalau how we as a individual, whether you are individual, whether you want to commit sin or do a good deeds is up to you lah. And there are certain rules. Something that's what syariah say about speculation ni. Tapi derivative ni memang tak boleh sebab dia ni value tu kan tak ada kan, dia derive lagi lah, pelik ke. Tu syariah cakap jangan. Foreign exchange, bond, money market boleh. Okay, that's something else lah. Okay, arbitrage purposes. Okay, arbitrage ni kan macam you make you make money but without taking risk tau. Can you imagine, tadi I've been talking about you speculate, if you right you make a lot of money, if you you're wrong you lose a lot of money. So in what space what sort of environment yang I can make money but I don't take risk? Actually concept ni, it doesn't make sense in this world. What sort of you want to get rich in your life, you don't want to take risk, you don't want to learn more, you don't want to venture. So macam mana pula tu? Macam tu kalau as a Muslim, you duduk rumah doa je lah. But you still need to take a little bit of risk for you to have to gain something. But this concept arbitrage ni, how can it be? Macam mana you make money but you tak ada risk? So it kind of kalau nature tak boleh accept tau benda-benda macam ni. There's no such thing. Tapi because of ada fraction ni maksudnya as much kita ni hidup dalam dunia teknologi, information flowing faster, macam you tak sempat nak macam contohnya macam you dengar kawasan sebelah rumah you akan dinaikkan. So that mean I should naikkan untuk akan dinaikkan esok tau. So sebelum esok harga akan naik. So you fikir I should buy now, then quickly sell. So macam tak ada risk tau. Tapi kalau dalam kita information flow yang very fluid sekarang ni, chances to do this kan, tak sempat you nak beli kan, orang dah start beli harga dah naik. You tak boleh nak alamak dah lambat. So arbitrage ni something macam before there is a space between fractions or between information asymmetric lah. Kalau you probably akan dengar dah dengar before, there are parties yang tak sempat react to the information tau. So you masuk, lepas tu you jual. Just imagine you buy something and jual immediately. Tak ada risk. Kat situ yang dia cakap simultaneously selling and buying. So usually memang I would say in my experience nanosecond tau. Can you imagine nanosecond you kena react. So chances are you tak boleh buat pun. Sebab macam mana, how do you react nanosecond? You know, buy sell macam itu pun still dalam 1 second ni nanosecond tau. So but they are markets yang macam apa adalah diffraction of information lah. You still can take opportunity. So that's why people arbitrage. But in reality-nya jangan harap lah susah nak arbitrage. Yang arbitrage ni biasanya I would say people actually yang manipulate market. Yang kalau conspiracy theory ni, some people say that the world ni pun controlled by few people. So dia boleh je dia nak manipulate, okay kita sell, lepas tu baru bila dia start selling kita pun nak sell, by the time kita sell dia dah beli balik, benda-benda macam tu. So that's arbitrage lah. Just imagine that you buy and sell something within a moment, you don't take risk. So that's arbitrage. So kalau the slide in front of you now, we're talking about financial derivative. Okay, these are forward, futures, option, and swap. These four is actually typically a derivative instrument, class of derivative instruments. Because within the forward, futures, and option and swap, lagi banyak cabang lah. Yang saya cakap macam weather, forward, weather futures, or options, or weather swap, or macam-macam. It can it can be developed for different underlying. So kat sini dia tunjuk macam forward contract, underlying instruments, commodity price, stock price, exchange rate. But in reality, each of these derivative have many types of underlying. Tadi saya cakap pasal dia ada equity, dia ada FX, dia ada commodity, dia ada apa lagi, interest rate, dia kalau developed country dia ada weather, dia ada frankly pelik-pelik lah kalau you try Google lah. I mean weird lah how people name. So kalau forward contract ni, something that tengok what's the definition say that between you and me are counterparties. Fix a term of exchange that will take place will take place in the future. So I jual my iPhone to you now, but I deliver in the future. So that is a forward contract. You and I enter transaction today, so something that to be delivered in the future. In the future dalam konteks ni kalau you FX ada dengan spot kan, spot dengan forward. So forward is anything more than 2 days. So kalau more than 2 days tu itulah forward. So that means you buy something, you and I buying or selling something, delivery after 2 days. So that is a forward contract. So okay, then the price, okay, that's something forward contract. Okay, this tailor-made, well actually it's more tailor-made. I don't think Bursa have exchange traded punya product under forward contract. But tailor-made ni, I mean client call me, hey Kamal, I nak beli foreign currency in 3 months time. I nak beli dollar because sebab apa? Because I ada import something, but in 3 months time I need to pay. I takut dollar by the time I nak pay, I go and see you, but ringgit dah 4.2. Might as well I do now while ringgit are still cheap. So they call me, Kamal, I want to buy ringgit in 3 months time. Sorry, I want to buy dollar in 3 months time. I'm gonna give you ringgit. So in 3 months time nanti, I give the customer dollar. Then customer have to give me ringgit, and the dollar tu customer can pay dia punya seller lah yang dia import barang tu. Okay. It cannot be cancelled without agreement of both parties. So basically it can be cancelled. And also it's a tailor-made. So if the tailor-made ni, you and I boleh cerita je. I mean whatever we want lah. Tapi macam biasalah kalau we dah agree, you nak break, you nak cancel ke apa ke, of course ada apa yang cakap, kena bayar something lah, adalah cost dia. Sebab the idea is that bila bank do a forward contract with the customer, bank usually akan cover dia punya position. Okay, that's something else lah. I hope under your foreign exchange class covered lah. So bila you nak cancel, in fact dalam forward contract you can just cancel. Ada 3 things yang dia boleh buat. Extend. Just imagine extension sebab dia tak jadi bayar 3 bulan in 3 months time sebab dia COVID, delivery tak sampai, extend 1 week. So the customer do not need the dollar masa tu. Dia nak buat extended 1 week. So the extension. And second, early take up. early take-up ni meaning that, Kamal, I know I call you a few weeks ago, I want to buy dollar next week, tapi for some reason shipment datang awal this week, so I need the money now. Itu maksudnya early take-up. So maksudnya dia cepatkan. The other one is cancel lah. Cancel totally because of COVID, company yang you beli from US tu totally close down. Of course lah, you dah tak boleh buat apa. Then you call back, I want to either cancel, early take up or extend. So each one ada juga calculation dia sebab ada cost. That's something in the FX class should cover lah. So not liquid marketable tu, okay. This concept apply kat mana-mana. Yang not liquid ni meaning that you cannot sell. You dah buat FX dengan bank, you tak boleh pergi kat saudara you say that, I dah buat FX forex exchange dengan this bank, I nak jual kontrak ni. Tak boleh. Itu dia cakap non-marketable lah. Dan no guarantee tu, and party will not default tu, of course lah, bila 3 months time ni, you punya company pun mungkin dah tak ada. Sebab pasal COVID kan. So that's why there's no guarantee that you and I can exist 3 months time. So okay, the next slide. Okay, futures contract, it says agreement between two parties, you and me, buy and sell specific amount underlying asset a particular time in future. So ada predetermined price. So this is something similar like forward. Tapi dalam futures contract, futures is predominantly dekat exchange. Bila kat exchange kan tadi you tak boleh negotiate. So exchange dah siapkan March, June, September, December. Yang ini every exchange in the world use this. Every the delivery end of March, end of June, September, December needs to be delivered exchange contract tu. So you go to the exchange, I want to buy certain amount for September contract macam CPO tadi tu lah. You nak sell your punya CPO in September. So you buy futures contract. So ini you tak boleh lebih-lebih, tak boleh cakap banyak. You kena beli as per what is the exchange tu dah cakap. Contract minimum size banyak ni. Contract banyak ni. You boleh ni. Then you kena follow. So then all this ni memang dah standardized. Lepas tu kalau you tak boleh cancel, but you can unwind. Let's say lah you beli option contracts to sell CPO. Tiba-tiba je cakap, alamak aku nak buat nak tanam cili lah pula. You tak boleh go exchange. I tak ready lah. I nak tukar, I dah beli dah future contract untuk cili ni, but I nak cancelkan by CPO yang I beli last week. You cannot say that. But what you can tell the exchange, you buy the reverse contract. Just to offset, you reverse macam tu. You tak boleh macam ni, macam FX forward tadi, you nak cancel, okay lah cancel, pangkar, buang. In the exchange, you cannot say that. You nak cancel, you kena beli the opposite contract, so dia offset, so dah kosong. But dia ni akan exist je lah sampai at the end of the punya period tu, macam March kan, you beli 1st March, dia akan mature you beli for March contract, that means it start from January. 1st January, you beli futures contract, you punya delivery paling lambat you boleh deliver on the last day of March, you kena deliver. So you tak boleh cakap, no, I nak cancel, tak nak deliver. No, you tak boleh. You kena beli opposite contract. So bila sampai ke March nanti you ada delivery, and you also ada you ada receive lah. So you deliver, you receive. So dia knock off, don't settle, tak payah. FX forward tadi, forward contract you boleh cakap, boleh buang buang dia macam tu, dah tak exist lah. So that is dealing dengan exchange traded memang tak boleh cakap banyak lah. So dia punya rules. So macam buyer ni maksudnya you buy option contract, people say the term is always long position. So when you buy something, of course you long lah kan. So but ini yang syariah tak boleh accept, because you buy something in future, macam mana you call it your long, but you only receive in later time. So but in the concept of futures ni, you buy option futures contract, you are actually long position. So something that is you going to receive in the future, but you already tell yourself you're long. From Sharia perspective, problem lah. You beli something yang tak exist, macam mana you want to call yourself a long. Macam itulah. Okay, then apa ni, the rest, okay, the seller pun sama juga, short, when you sell something, ini lagi lah syariah tak boleh accept. You syariah say, you can only sell something that you have. So something you don't have, you cannot sell. Itu dah jadi macam fictitious ke apa kan. But in conventional world, you call it you're short. So macam tadi tu, macam you buy CPO contract, you are long CPO contract. So kalau you, yang the seller of CPO to you tu dah dia short lah. So this at the end of the each period, the seller of the futures kena deliver. Kalau dia tak nak deliver, dia better buy opposite contract just to offset it. Kalau tidak, dia kena deliver. Itu yang apa, some people are genuine lah yang dalam delivery tu. Contohnya lah, you imagine a tin producer. Tin producer dia nak jual dia punya tin tu, aluminium tin tu. Aluminium, lepas tu yang dia jual, yang beli tu, just imagine dalam participant tadi dia cakap, I think probably one of the participant is broker. Broker ni probably a broker for Coke, Coca-Cola. Cola nak produce, of course dia nak can tu kan. So dia mesti nak stock. So dia boleh cari call kau ada stock kan, ataupun dia guna another party carikan for me. So this broker ni, participant ni boleh je masuk dekat futures market, then okay, I dah beli untuk you untuk delivery in end of March. Okay, thank you very much. Coke say thank you very much. So at the end of March, the producer, the tin producer, aluminium producer akan deliver to Coca-Cola. So that's why it's a delivery take place. Yang tadi tu speculator tu, dia tak nak, itu yang ada masalah sikit dalam Islam ni. Speculator ni yang dalam futures ni, dia tak ada intention pun nak deliver. Dia start from zero. You and me je, tak ada apa. You kerja white collar, tiba-tiba you trade dekat futures. You bukan boleh deliver you bukannya manufacturer of aluminium, tin. In fact, you bukan Coca-Cola pun. You don't have interest. But kalau I jual, I can sell low. I thought I sell I sell aluminium ni now. I sell now, but because I thought that maybe in the future because of COVID ni, aluminium punya supplier akan jadi kurang, tak boleh produce, harga aluminium ni akan naik. So I can buy now. Okay, I buy the aluminium now under futures contract, and 3 months later I sell terus. I tak nak delivery because I'm pure speculator. So I sell, then I dapat dia punya untung tu atas angin saja. Itu speculator punya kerja lah. Okay, kalau yang the next slide ni talking about macam mana you buat dekat futures market, you order, lepas tu ada limit order tu. Tapi ini I think I don't want to go detail lah, but it's self-explanatory. So start trading futures, settlement. Okay, settlement ni yang tadi I mention pasal you close out your position ni. So you close up position, kalau you nak trade buta-buta atas angin, buat macam ni lah. Kalau you long, maksudnya you long, you dah beli. You gonna get delivered the commodity kalau you tak close your position. So you close it, so maksudnya you dah beli, you dah jual. So you dah close position tu. So kalau you short, meaning you kena deliver, dan you kena deliver lah. Kalau tak nak deliver, you better buy balik before you deliver. That's why you close and future position. Positive gain ni, negative gain ni macam tadi lah. You speculator, you atas angin beli you beli CPO now, tak ada intention nak get delivered because you just individual. End of March, before you ada lori sampai depan rumah you deliver your CPO, you terus jual dekat futures market. Dah offset kan. Lepas tu futures market kan tengok you beli berapa, you jual berapa. Ini yang untung tu dia akan masukkan dalam you punya account. Dia call it margin account lah, bukannya account dekat bank. You kena open account dekat exchange ni. Dia akan credit you punya ni. Lepas tu ni barulah boleh transfer ke you punya account dekat bank. That's why you make money lah. So that's how you trade in the futures market. So option contract tadi pun okay, I dah mention tu, dia just option to to buy and sell. So dia ada options. So ada premium. Okay, next slide. Sama juga owner of the option tu option purchaser or holder. Maksud you lah, I bagi option kat you beli my iPhone, that you are the option holder. Because you want to hold the option, you pay me lebih lah RM50. So I the seller of the option to sell my iPhone. Itu konsep dia. So kalau dia tadi tu ada apa? Two types of option, call option, put option. Call ni maksudnya option to buy. So that means you bila tadi iPhone tadi kan, you actually buy an option, call option. RM50 you bayar premium tu, option to buy iPhone from me 1 month later. That is call option. But I on the other side, I actually sell you put option ni right to sell. So that means just imagine terbalik pula. Where I jumpa you pula bagi I option dekat kat I that Kamal, I bagi you option lah for me to sell my iPhone to you 1 month later. Tengok option tu dah terbalik pula. I pula ada right to sell. Tapi when you say that to me, Kamal, because I give you the right to sell to me 1 month, I want you to pay me RM50. So itu dia punya terbalik tu tau. Tapi dia punya relationship sama, terbalik je. So you try to get this idea and you read the text and try to tengok the iPhone punya analogy ni. It's almost similar. So features ni, this one I think you should read yourself lah. The features and basic example of call options. Features and option tadi I think dah nampak option ada right. But features ni something that you dah agree to do something in the future. But option ni tak ada pun agreement to do. It's just that pilihan je dibagi. That is a main tu. The next slide. Difference between forward and futures. I think this is something you can read. Tapi macam forward tadi pun you try to get idea that you and I enter to transaction to deliver something in the future. Tapi kalau futures ni almost sama tau. Tapi futures ni dia kan dekat exchange, dia ada standardized. Tak boleh cakap banyak lah. Forward ni boleh cerita-cerita lagi. Nak kasi cancel ke apa ke. Next slide. This one you can read, but let me see. Just read, but maybe I touch a bit. Doctor, this is last slide. Touch a little bit on the risk too. Risk, high counterparty risk, low counterparty risk. This is something like bila I for FX forward tadi kan over the counter, you and I. So I have to trust you tau. And you have to trust me juga. So manusia ni kan, adik-beradik pun boleh gaduh-gaduh pasal trust kan. Ini kan you lagilah siapa. So itu yang kita say high counterparty risk. I don't know you, boleh tak you deliver? You say you want to buy ringgit. You want to buy dollar in 3 months time. So I gonna give you dollar and you have to give me ringgit. So bila dah 3 bulan nanti ni, boleh ke I trust you that you gonna give me your ringgit? Because I'm gonna give my dollar to you. So you asking the same question, can you trust me? And I can tell you why this happened, because in the 2008, banyak bank rugi duit because of this. Ini another topic yang I'm not sure whether it should be covered, but probably dalam FX juga ni, sebab settlement of foreign exchange settlement of foreign exchange. Bila you that's related to the settlement system. Macam ringgit, kalau you pernah dengar rentas. Bila you transfer duit ke, let's say you ada account dengan Maybank. You transfer duit ke CIMB. To your friend to CIMB, and CIMB you ask your CIMB friend, dah dapat belum? Your CIMB friend tengok, duit dah dapat lah. You tengok duit dekat Maybank you dah kosong. It doesn't happen like magic tau. Bukannya magic dia hilang. Dia ada flow. that duit ni akan pergi, sampailah you punya CIMB account. Dia guna kat tengah-tengah tu ada settlement host. Kat Malaysia ni dia panggil rentas. So you kalau ringgit dia guna rentas. So you transfer your ringgit dekat Maybank, pergi dekat rentas sistem ni akan bayar CIMB and CIMB akan credit customer your punya friend account. So kalau you buat ringgit, dia berlaku dekat kita punya time tau. Time maksudnya kalau duit tak masuk, you keep calling, kenapa duit tak masuk? Kenapa duit tak masuk? Tapi yang itu kalau bayar ringgit. Tapi remember FX tadi, the dollar ringgit, I have to pay you dollar tau. You have to, and dollar ni, transaction dollar ni, host dollar ni dekat New York. So maksudnya you kena balik rumah dulu, you bangun pagi esok, baru you tengok account you ada dollar ke tak. Kalau ringgit, now you kena nampak, kenapa duit tak masuk lagi, kenapa duit, keep calling, but dollar you cannot do that. You have to wait for New York to open. So bila ini yang berlaku, bila bangun pagi esok, alamak, dollar tak masuk Call yang orang bayar dollar tu dia dah tak ada dah, company dah tutup. Tapi yang you dah bayar ringgit dekat dia. That's where high counterparty risk. This is where different dengan futures contract ni. Futures contract dia pakai exchange. Dia ada satu clearing. I think the previous slide tu dia mention pasal clearing. Clearing tu maksudnya bursa ni, exchange ni guarantee. Tengok yang the bottom tu, clearing. Dekat the previous slide tadi kot. Clearing ni, institutional guarantee. Clearing house. So you and I masuk dekat bursa ni, bursa ada clearing house telling people, you guys do not worry. You trade je lah. I will guarantee payment. That's what bursa tell the market through this clearing house. The seller will be guaranteed be paid. The buyer will be guaranteed receive whatever the buyer beli. Kalau you beli macam futures contract kan. So you kena, let's say you kena deliver CPO. So the buyer of the CPO, clearing ni cakap, don't worry, I will guarantee delivery. And you seller akan dapat duit tu. That's why this is actually quite important tau. Sebab banyak bank collapse, banyak bank rugi because of this. And this concept counterparty risk ni memang common in bank because we don't trust each other lah. So we need to make sure when I do with you, I really need to comfort that I know you are a stranger. To what extent I can trust you lah. But definitely I cannot trust you. I know everything. But I need to take a little bit of risk that you may actually fail to pay me. And you on the other side, I kena fikir that Kamal may actually fail to deliver the iPhone yang I transfer duit dalam you beli kat Mudah kan. Kan ada banyak kes beli barang, bayar, duit barang tak dapat. That is counterparty risk. Bayangkan clearing house ni dia buat dekat Mudah. Mudah tu cakap I will guarantee payment, I will guarantee delivery. Kan senang. Tapi sekarang ni tak ada. So dekat delivery yang macam dekat tu memang ada isu kat Mudah lah, ada isu high counterparty risk. But the same risk dekat Lazada dengan Shopee is lower. Because Lazada dengan Shopee adalah some sort of mechanism to manage the counterparty risk. Contohnya kalau you nak jadi seller, mungkin dia do some due diligence lah. Are you a real seller? Buat barang you ada. So benda-benda tu mechanism to manage counterparty risk. Okay. I think that's all lah yang I boleh ni. Kalau ada question apa-apa, just tanyalah. I think we have about 10 minutes ni.
Okay, so thank you very much, Mr. Kamal. So any questions from the class? You can unmute your mic and ask questions if you have questions to ask.
In fact, maybe if you have a question letter pun, I think boleh juga hantar to doctor and forward to me lah.
Okay. Anyone? Any questions?
Saya nak tanya yang pasal premium untuk auction tu, kita kira benda tu as deposit ataupun upfront payment untuk make the contract ke macam mana?
Ini sounds macam Islamic banking ni question je. Dia auction premium ni, kalau dalam conventional banking it is a cost, the price tau you have to pay. So that means it's not bila you pay the price dah belong to that party dah. Itu apa differentnya commissioner, tapi dalam konteks Islamic banking ada argument lah whether this is deposit, is it something that bila option tu tak jadi I kena return balik. That is a discussion dalam Islamic banking. Tapi we have a solution. Tapi dia punya konsep sekarang option ni, apa yang dalam commissioner dengan Islamic banking sekarang ni sama. That it is a price that whoever yang nak ada option tu have to pay. And this price, kalau you tak exercise, you tak boleh claim that, that's my money, please return. Tak boleh dah. You beli barang, mana boleh minta return kan? Macam tu lah. Tapi it's a price. So dalam Islamic banking, they found a syariah contract lah to replicate this.
So kiranya kalau macam premium option ni, dia ada dia punya fix 10% ke 10%
Okay. Ini yang saya cakap ni quite a rocket science jugalah cara dia. Dia dia bukan pakai macam 10% ni. I tengok you rasa nak charge 5%. I tengok ini ada 10%. Kalau hari ni I rasa I baru kena marah dengan bos, I charge you 50% ke. It is not. It coming from mathematical model. Mathematical model tu, in fact, I wish lah in the future maybe I can work with UFSI to come up with better lecture that dalam derivative produk ni ada konsep mark to market. Just imagine mark to market ni, you all I'm sure belajar present value kan, time value of money. Okay, time value of money. So just imagine that option ni, I'm giving you option to do something in the future. So in the future ni, just imagine kalau dalam hidup kita ni, matematik we can quantify everything lah. Even dalam Islamic, dalam as a Muslim pun kita tak boleh value our life, but dalam takaful they have mathematical model to value our life tau. Bukannya life as a from Islamic lah, but they have some sort of reference whether they probably use your income level, then they put a value. So macam ni jugalah bila you and I agree to do something in the future, along the way macam-macam risk. Dunia go hewaya lah, banjir kilat lah, gunung berapi lah. The thing is, how do we put a value to this? I'm taking risk kan ni, I bagi you option tau. So I ada risk on my part. So how do I calculate berapa banyak risk that I'm going to... I know that my phone tadi I give 1,005, right? But 1,005 is my risk, but I cannot charge you 1,005 premium. But because 1,005 is a price when you want to do transaction in future, but along the way ni, macam time value of money, macam 1,005 in the future, sekarang ni value dia lain kan? So that is dia punya basic concept tau. You put this into the mathematical model, kalau kat market ni dia guna Black-Scholes model. Okay, I tell you, none of us in a dealing room able to calculate manually. Able to, you all punching numbers and they akan come out. So I take into consideration the time, berapa lama ni, 1 month or 6 month option. I take into consideration probably interest rate. Sebab macam masak lah. Ambil ni sikit, ini sikit, ini sikit. Then the model will calculate what is the premium given all this environment. That's how they calculate. So kalau you buat shorter option dengan long term option, obviously premium dia takkan sama. Because long term option, whoever that the seller of the option is taking more risk. But kalau you buat 3 hari punya option, of course lah premium mungkin RM2-3. So then lepas tu tengok juga apa benda all other factors ni. Biasanya you punya price. Ini 1,005. Let's say lah I letak this is RM5,000. So my risk is that, alamak, I need RM5,000. Tapi kalau you tak beli, jenuh nak cari siapa nak beli RM5,000, nanti I nak bayar hutang kereta ni. Tapi 1,005 sound senang sikit lah. Okay, mungkin I can borrow from my relative 1,005, but nak borrow 5,000 bukan senang. So I take this into a model, example, that model gonna calculate what is the premium that you should pay. That's why people say kalau you nak hedge, before disaster happen, then you do the option to hedge. Because kalau disaster dah happen, the option dah mahal. Sebab macam ni lah, macam you dah, you tak ada penyakit now, muda-muda. So I encourage you consider, dah lepas kerja, consider ambil takaful or insurance. Sebab kalau you dah sakit, ataupun dah pernah sakit, baru you nak ambil insurance premium. Tengok konsep premium premium akan tinggi. Premium tu pun, konsep premium dalam insurance pun lebih kurang option juga. Then that you want to have an option. Bila you sakit, you want to claim money from insurance company. Insurance company cakap, I'm okay, but you have to pay me something, premium. Kalau you dah sakit, premium tinggi lah. Dia konsep tak ada beza pun, lebih kurang je. Boleh?
Any other questions? Ada soalan lagi nak tanya? Anyone?
Boleh tak nak tanya soalan berkaitan dengan option produk tadi?
Nak tanya soalan boleh.
Nak tanya, kalau macam contoh dalam situasi iPhone tadi kan seller boleh bagi offer kepada buyer untuk beli iPhone dengan harga $1,500 dalam masa sebulan kan? Contoh boleh tak? Boleh ke kalau macam dalam masa sebulan tu seller tu dia jual iPhone tu dekat orang lain, bukan dekat orang yang dia bagi offer?
Ini pun actually it's a very important question, and in fact it's a legal matter. Sebab bila I contohnya I bagi option to you to buy my phone from a legal perspective. I'm not a legal person, but baca-baca sikit lah law. So that means you guys when you do ada kelas law tu pay attention sikit lah, sebab you gonna affect your life after lepas kerja. So dalam law legal cakap sebab you dah bayar premium so you have the right tau. So bila you have the right, that mean bila you datang bila datang you cakap I nak beli phone as promise lah. That is actually you exercising you punya rights tau. Dalam legal you have that right to come to the option seller ni, myself ni, say that Kamal, 1 month ago you give me the right, now I'm claiming my rights tau. But of course lah dalam hidup ni macam-macam benda boleh berlaku. I boleh cakap, I tahu I dah bagi you right, tapi I nak mungkir janji lah. Itu memang akan berlaku. That's why ada bank collapse. Sebab dah buat transaction still fail juga. That's why ada konsep counterparty risk juga. Sebab bila you macam ni kan, you ada counterparty risk on me tau. Sebab what if I fail to sell you the iPhone seperti yang dijanjikan. So tapi from legal perspective, you boleh bawa I pergi court tau. Sebab you have the right. But on the other side from this from legal perspective, I tak boleh paksa you beli my phone. But you boleh paksa I jual my phone to you. You tengok tengok macam mana konsep ni different. Sebab I giving you the rights. So from legal perspective, you boleh come later in 1 month, want to buy. If I fail to sell, you boleh bawa I pergi court. Tapi I ni, because I tak ada option to sell to you unless I buat yang tadi put option tu. Put option. Itu right lain. Sekarang ni you right to buy, to call option. So I tak boleh paksa siapa tadi Nurul Amira. I tak boleh pergi kat you paksa you beli sebab you boleh cakap I tak ada legal obligation. My legal obligation is on you to sell to me when I exercise. But you tak boleh come into my house, ketuk pintu, paksa I beli the phone. Even pergi dekat court pun I akan kalah. Sebab I don't have that legal right. Macam tu lah. Boleh tangkap
Any other question? I can see Dr. Faizal joining us today. So thank you. Baru habis kelas
Thank you, Cik Kamal.
Ada apa soalan, Doktor?
Tak sempat nak dengar tadi.
Johan ada soalan lagi?
Apa-apa pun derivative ni take it this as the, face value sebab yang penting sekarang ni for student to catch the concept. Sebab if you fail to take the concept, because dia punya universe ni, I'm talking about quantum physics tau, boleh sampai level quantum physics. Which is, bukan calon-calon orang. So, kalau nak talk about ni, boleh berdarah hidung lah kalau nak fahamkan ni. So just take it dia punya, just concept dia. Kadang-kadang tak susah pun. Every day we do in our life pun, actually derivative juga. Concept of a counterparty risk, concept of your hedging, you pergi kelas. If you pergi kelas, you nak pergi kelas today, or maybe you have an exam. So, what is your risk? You kena fikir. Actually, you sebenarnya always fikir pasal benda tu. Cuma you tak boleh letak into the right context. You demam, kereta rosak, hujan, macam-macam lagi. That's your risk tau. You thinking of you going to esok ada exam. Every day you buat benda ni. That's what, then how do you hedge? Itu yang you kena jawab. Kalau you fikir, let's say tomorrow is final exam, you risau, you demam, what will you do? I'm sure you makan ubat. I'm sure you tidur awal. That's how you actually hedging your exposure. Every day we do that. And this derivatives pun actually tak susah because it's actually coming from a concept of life. You manage, so that means lepas ni a little bit have to be a little bit of self-conscious lah, because whatever you do sebenarnya bukan by it's actually natural, but everything can be put into context. So that means macam ni, now you should already know what you do every day can put into context of that hedging and hedging exposure. Only that you punya hedging derivative instrument tu lah tak ada. But derivative instrument dalam financial market, but when you punya derivative instrument probably you makan pil Panadol tu lah. That's your instruments. When you tidur awal, benda-benda macam tu.
Alright, so tak ada soalan dah
So kiranya kalau kita guna derivative instruments tu, maknanya memang kita prevent untuk daripada dapat risk. Memang tak ada risk langsung lah.
Okay, you mention tu, I have to correct you sikit lah. Dalam life ni, kita tak boleh cakap kita boleh zerokan risk. Kalau Islam ni kita cakap Allah je lah yang tahu kan. So that's why dalam konsep managing risk ni, kita pegang the word of mitigate, to reduce risk. Bukannya mitigate to zerokan risk dia. You makan Panadol pun tak tentu pun you boleh okay. Tapi you mitigate to reduce risk, esok tak boleh bangun pening kepala kan, you makan Panadol. But still, you still boleh pening juga still esok. Mungkin ubat tak cukup. So the word is you cannot zeroize your risk dalam konteks of risk management ni. You boleh mitigate to minimize it.
Alright, okay. Last question. Ada lagi tak? Tak ada dah. Alright. So Cik Kamal, thank you very much for today's session. So Dr. Fazal, you have anything to say? You join kita pun dah lambat
Sorry, I cannot make it tadi sebab ada clash of jadual juga, ada kelas juga. So thank you very much Cik Kamal.
Alright, no problem.
Share your experience, with the students so that they student dapat first hand experience daripada you lah, directly from the industry kan. Thank you very much.
Alright. Okay, with that, I would like to say my thanks to Dr. Azanti just to invite me to talk, and I'm okay to to participate in any discussion or to join any lecture in the future lah, just to share my experience. And kalau boleh itulah, I kena ambil cuti lah kan. So today a bit casual, pakai t-shirt je sebab cuti kan.
Tu yang from home tu pakai t-shirt juga. I juga.
But I do my piece of advice to students ni lah. I mean, do expand your mind lah. Jangan ingat benda-benda macam ni just something to pass your exam. Do create some sort of interest, because I can tell you this will affect your life. Tak semua, but a little bit of the punya concept tu akan influence your career later lah. So just open to new ideas and new tools, benda-benda macam ni. And inshallah lah, that you guys should be doing well in the future.
Okay, all right. So thank you very much. That will end our session today, and I will see you guys next week. Okay, thank you.
All right. Okay,
Thank you,
thanks.
sir.
Very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Thank
madam.
you, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you, doctor.
All right.